I'll tell you, man. Hi, my beautiful friends. How are y'all?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Jenna, love seeing you from Nebraska. You look beautiful as always.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. And Jennifer, Oklahoma City. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing great. I thought
I think
your
we're
post
all
was
together.
cute.
To be
Jen,
truthful, I wish we were all in person so people could see the energy that we have when we're all
I
I,
know. I was
I
thinking
don't
this.
think they could keep up.
together. Probably not.
But I like your post with the three gens, three
I
ring
mean, it was
lights.
accurate.
Yeah, that
Love
was
it.
very good. So
Yeah.
tell me
That was
about your
good.
market. What is your market like, Jenna?
You
Just
know,
in a general overview.
yeah. I mean, I think the really nice thing about being in Nebraska is that our economy is so incredibly stable, right? And we see that trickle down to our market all of the time. There's a lot of people that we talk to at our Remax events that, have seen different things trickle down after COVID, right? And so they've seen really high highs and really low lows. And we've just kind of managed to stay at a steady. We're a little bit of an anomaly here in that people are always coming and going. Our inventory obviously is really low. We have a ton of new construction that's happening, but so much of it is just not quite yet ready. But things are continuously moving. Our numbers are down kind of overall. I think some of that is just from the inciting of fear from media and uneducated people about interest rates and things like that. So I feel like my team and I are working double time and overtime just to fill in the education portion so that people are really, they're not feeling the panic that they shouldn't need to feel.
That's right. I would agree with you. What about with you, Jennifer? How's Oklahoma City?
It's very similar to what Jenna said. It was interesting in doing some statistics. A lot of you who know me do that. I do a lot of new home sales, and that's really been a big portion of my career. And right now, 46% of our inventory are new homes on the market. Right now. But we're really steady. Our sales prices are up from last year, and our inventory is down.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's the same thing.
We're at 53% right now is new construction.
Yeah.
Yep, 53%. So that's kind of interesting. We overall are down 22% year to date in sales, but so much of that has just been Q3 and the beginning of Q4. I mean, we don't have very many Q4 stats yet, but I mean, I feel like that's a pretty significant number, just saying 22% down this year so far.
Yeah. 22% down in sales. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Just in total number of closed transactions. But the 53% for new construction, I feel like is pretty standard for us. I also feel like we've seen such delays in the time factor for new construction. Jennifer, I'm sure you see this all the time.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've never really caught up after COVID, after all of the material delays, all of the labor delays. I feel like we're still, perpetually playing catch up.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I feel like the nation's kind of like that, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, from all the people I talk to.
Right.
Whether it be new homes, flips, anything else. I mean, I think the supply chain is improving. We've noticed that windows have gone from 4 months to 6 weeks now. Right? You know that things are going to start to improve on the supply chain kind of everywhere. Furniture is more readily available, all of that. But I'm with you, Jenna. Our new homes are usually probably 40 to 50% of the market. Right now, and we're only looking to be down about 7% year to date here.
That's awesome. Well, and our sale, our average sales price still is up. We're over 9% up still, which is great. And I feel like, did you all see in your markets an increase in your days on market averages simply because in our market on our MLS, we have the ability to do something called, no show status. So we can advertise it. We can tell the world, hey, this property is coming, just to generate and market and create the buzz, but nobody's allowed to go in it until 2 days later, 1 week later, et cetera. And so our days on market, I feel like that count is a bit skewed. But overall, numbers are up, inventory is still down, and our sales volume is down, but really only mainly from Q4 or Q3, pardon me.
No, I would agree with you. That's the same thing. I was just looking at mine too. Our closed sales are down 25%, but our average sales price is up 13%.
Yeah, that's
and our inventory is down. We only have an absorption rate of 1.8 months. So,
Oh, wow.
so it doesn't, the balance market will have 4 months of absorption rate, meaning that the number of homes listed, if everything were to stop being listed, how long would it take to sell those? So we're still seeing it's a strong seller's market still here.
We're at 3.3. So we're getting really close to balanced here, which I think is nice. But then of course, we've got the people who are panicking. And we saw a lot of people try to get into real estate over the past 24 months. But I feel like that's not necessarily, going to be beneficial to them, because unless you had those pre-existing relationships and things like that, you may have worked a whole lot and not been able to have anything come to fruition. So I'm looking forward to the balanced market and my lenders returning to, normal, and even things like our inspectors. We want everybody to be able to continue to work and keep our economy strong here.
Yeah, 100% agree.
We're
That's interesting about the new homes.
We're at 1.5 on our absorption rate.
You're at what, Jennifer?
1.5.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we're still low.
So we're still pretty low. And our days on market went an average of 7 last year, days on market to 13 this year. So we're still really low.
Ours aren't much. I mean, last year it was 23 to 25. So, I mean, it's still, I think we're still seeing good numbers here too. It's interesting because I'm more like you, Jenna. We haven't really seen the high highs and the low lows. I mean, it has progressively, our prices have gone up and all that. But you talk to people like Mark Cruz in Colorado. I mean, he was, 400,000 and 500,000 above list price,
Sure.
which we haven't. We have seen a little bit higher, but not the extremes.
I guess I'm kind of surprised by that. Jennifer, in your market, what percentage or is the majority of people in the area? Are they tourists? Are they people that come for second homes, vacation homes, or is there a large population that's there year round?
It is probably 50-50. Honestly,
Okay.
I would say we do have a lot of tourists. We do have a lot of second homes. Great question. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting how COVID has sort of shifted things. If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you probably 50% of my clients were moving here from New York, New Jersey, and they were retiring, and they had sold their houses, and they were young retirees, and they had tons of energy, and they wanted to move to the beach, and they were paying cash for a house and enjoying it. Now with COVID, people being able to work from home, our job market here isn't great. So now you're seeing the younger people that have their good jobs in New York, New Jersey, wherever, and they're moving here. But we have also seen an influx from California and a lot of people from Florida recently.
Sure. Yeah, we've seen.
When you asked that question to Jennifer, I was like, tourism, second homes in Oklahoma City. I think it's the other Jennifer.
Yeah, I don't think it's you.
Well, and we've seen the same type of influx. I think so much of it is, people who lived in Nebraska at one point in time, or people who are, coming from one of the, either side, either coast, but they're taking their salary from New York City, from LA, from Orange County, things like that. And their companies are going to say, hey, we'll be remote indefinitely. And so then you can take your salary, that's $100,000, which would probably be equivalent to something like $65,000 here. You can have the New York salary on the quality of life in Nebraska. So we've seen a really large influx of that, or people returning that, I never thought I'd come back to Nebraska after all of the places that I lived, but I did. And, it's worked out for me. So we saw a lot of that too.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I've never been to Nebraska or Oklahoma. So I'm geographically kind of. No, I need to go visit you ladies.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
And have you all seen, I focused a lot lately, just kind of what's it like to be in the mindset of the buyer right now, right? And so for us, I'm sure we talked, at one of the events that we collectively were in, but I think it's really important for buyers to hear right now, with the interest rates that have been spiking, first of all, they're not that bad. They just aren't. And second of all, if you were to look at the amount that you would spend more in 1 month for your mortgage, in comparison to the tens of thousands of dollars that people had to come cash out of pocket over appraised value, they really don't compare, right? Let's say you're talking about the same $300,000 house. If you pay $200 more monthly on your mortgage, but you had to pay $30,000 more, because we were an average of 9 to 12% above listing price, 6 months ago. And that's cash out of pocket. you didn't get more house. You didn't, in fact, even build more equity in your home. You just instead came that much out of pocket. So I actually feel like it's a far superior time to be a buyer right now, but people aren't getting that information. And I feel like that's what we're up against, at least locally, is where everybody's saying, I'm not going to buy right now. Interest rates are so high. But right now is when you don't have to also be doing the bidding wars as much or spending the tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket.
That's right.
That's the message I've been focusing on for my buyers, at least, is you're actually going to save a lot right now.
Absolutely. I think it's important that if you're thinking about buying or selling in the next year, to go ahead and call your local real estate professional and set up a plan, because I mean, I was just talking to my lender now. I mean, and I think Jennifer and I were talking a couple of weeks ago about the 2-1 buy down, but they're also, you can assume the VA loans and the FHA loans at the lower interest rate. So, and that's something we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of good plans out there to help, I feel like, help everybody. And I agree with you. 6 months ago, it was terrible to be a buyer. I mean, it was a bidding war, 20, 30 offers on each house.
And you weren't getting a better home,
No.
right? You were spending more money for the right to be the one person.
That's right.
The one person that got to buy it. And so if you instead get to buy the house that you love now at a true fair market value, I mean, if you have to refinance in 6 months, 12 months, whatever that looks like, you still are going to be far ahead in terms of just the money that you've saved.
Yeah.
That leads me to Jennifer and I were talking about the 2-1 buy downs. When you talk about, like, Jenna, your market being 50% new homes, our market being close to that, every builder is offering that. And I'm not a fan of it. I think the numbers lay out much better to take that cash and closing cost and pay for your refi. The numbers line up to be so much better to do that. And the fact remains, if interest rates go low again, the buyer demand is there, and you're going to be paying over again, and you're going to be in a more aggressive market. So you can secure a home right now at a much better value to you overall. Take that money, save it in an interest-bearing account, and pay for your refinance if you feel you need to when rates go down.
Yeah, agree. And are y'all seeing all the posts from Maria and Tiffany and Josh? I keep putting them over there.
Friends. Yeah. Go Blue, Josh.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jennifer. What are you saying?
You're fine. I just think what you and I talked about before, Jennifer, is that everyone's going to come out with a new song and dance when it comes to lending or a way to get you in. But the fact of the matter is, your real estate professional and hopefully your lending professional can guide you through what is the best decision for you right now.
That's exactly right.
Well, and to your point about your local lending professional, gosh, I can't say enough how much value I think a local lender can bring to the process. I think the same way we pride on being creative problem solvers, right? And figuring out what is the solution when people think there isn't one, we're going to create one. I think a local lender does exactly that. And I think that people get such a skewed view of what the big box company lenders are, right? And they have massive amounts of money behind their marketing, but people don't understand where and how that money is used and manipulated in advertising. So they don't know all of the fees that they're paying. Whereas if you can have a conversation with a lender who is, 5 minutes from you, and they can call you and take the time to do real research for what kind of product that they can utilize for you to get the right kind of lending program, I think it matters so much more than people really understand.
Right. And deals go smoother. Plus, when it comes time to refinance, you've already got that relationship. You get the relationship with the lender and the title company. Use that as part of your negotiation, that I want to use you as a lender, but when rates go down, because what goes up comes down, can I look forward to working with you at a reduced cost in order to refinance?
And can you call me and tell me? Let's not pretend as though everybody has the time to continue monitoring that and monitoring, what will I qualify it for and not, rely on them to help you save money, because money is just a tool, right? It's just how we use it.
Right. Exactly.
That's excellent points. Yeah. So in summary, great time to buy, sell.
I would say
all of it.
Yeah. I mean, so I follow Keeping Current Matters a lot, which is, a great mailer. And they were just talking a lot about, when I have conversations with sellers right now, people are really nervous. They're really nervous about, are we on the precipice of another crash, another 2008 scenario? And they sent out really good information about why and how things are so different right now, right? Inventory is different right now. We have such a huge inventory shortage that we're not going to really necessarily be afforded the opportunity to have a crash because there's not enough to buy in the first place.
2000, I got into real estate in 2007. And when I would go into a listing appointment, I would tell them it would take 9 to 12 months. That was the average days on market, 9 to 12 months to be able to sell their home. I mean, you talk about saturation rate, it was not 9 months.
Yeah.
Saturation. I mean, it was incredible. It was crazy.
The annual absorption rate in 2008 was 10.4 months, and that was across the whole nation. So you're right. Those were the average numbers. Yeah. And I have sellers that freak out right now if we're talking 2 weeks. So great setting those expectations. And again, just all the education that we can instill and really gift to people. I think that's the best thing we can do right now.
No, I agree with you, totally.
And if you look historically in recessions, property values haven't decreased. Property values have continued to increase during recessions. So it is really, I mean, homes, whether they're for your personal, your second home, your investment home, they're a very safe investment. They always have been, and they always will continue to be.
Well, and the lending requirements have tightened as well. That was a big part of the article, is just saying, they kind of were inciting, they were creating artificial demand, right? Back in 2008. And so now people are much more educated consumers. And so, the requirements for lending have tightened a lot, but we still have people who think if I have student loans, I can't buy a house. If I have $30,000 worth of student loans, they don't understand as long as your balance has been amortized out and you're making a monthly payment. Bank doesn't care. They don't care what your monthly bills are. They just care, can you afford them? Right.
That's
and
right.
So, yeah. So I don't see us having the same issues just based off of everything I've read and all the points against it.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you.
I agree as well.
So I thank y'all for coming. And this was fabulous. And y'all are brilliant women as always. And I always enjoy our time together.
I do too. And it's so fun to see your faces and to just learn from both of you all the time. I love that.
What did you say, Jennifer?
I said all the time. It's great to see you guys. Even if it's random in an airport, Jenna.
I've been known to be found in an airport or two. That's fine.
Well,
Thank
fabulous.
you for having us, though, Jennifer. It's really nice.
Yes.
Well, I love seeing y'all as always. And y'all go have a good evening and we'll talk soon.
That sounds great. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.